Piece of candy? What's happening, guys? You're watching Toy Lips, and today we're taking a look at the Toy Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I know everybody's got their turtles now, right? But this is the 40th anniversary, and we are getting some killer stuff, and it's not weird at all. People in the comments on the internets will act like it's weird to have all these turtles. No, it's the 40th anniversary, and frankly, like the biggest anniversary when the toy thing is at its biggest. You know, who knows what the 50th will bring? Hopefully we're all well set by then. Anyway, Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael, and Leonardo, all packaged nicely, displayed in these window boxes here. This special cellophane over the top that says Joy Toy, I guess, so you know it's official. They already look pretty solid. We use the newer style logos. We got the Nickelodeon thing. These are official. These are legit. You get the logo on the bottom, a logo on the top, a bunch of gibberish on this side. Not for children. I'll give these to whoever I want. I will force feed them to your 3-year-old. Big, full-size shot on the side of this thing here. And on the back, you get a bunch of the accessories in action here. Some cool posing. Nothing properly about Leonardo, except, you know what, maybe that is, you know. You get the material breakdown and so on. 2024, Jizz Artland, Goulet. These are available at random places on the internet, and only on the internet. I got them from the source. I guess you might have some specialty shops carrying these at some point, right? Let's get into them. Here we got the big veiny Beefcake brothers out of the package. How we do around here, we're going to take a look at the aesthetic, the articulation, the accessories they come with, make some comparisons to other figures you might have, see how they stack up against other such turtles, and I'll give you my final thoughts on the thing. Are these worth the hype and the hoopla? Leave a like and let's find out. Checking out that tasty turtle aesthetic, it's team leader Leonardo. Let's strip him of his signature swords, which fit nicely into these hands that are a little bit soft. That's cool, but we're checking out the looks. And the sculpt and the paint detail. They get little washes here and the cracks and all this stuff. It looks, man, proportionally too, these guys are hosses. They're little mini hosses. These are, of course, more of a 1/18th scale. As an aside, you know, for turtles, for stuff like that, nobody seems to get that right. Different depictions are, of course, different heights, but typically the turtles are around 5 feet tall, give or take a few inches. So depending on their scale, you know what I mean, they're going to be a little shorter than, it's a base height of 6 foot for most other superhero-style characters. However, we have like NECA, who will say they're in a 1/10 scale, except their turtles are huge. Sorry, I don't mean to blather. Nobody seems to know how to properly scale the turtles. Will these be any different? Keep watching. Keep watching. They look great all on their own, though, don't they? Look at this shell. Nice detail. Really, really great sculpt in there. And just more paint on everything. And they've painted, you know, whatever these are. You can call them rivets. And then just little practical looking things. Like on these straps, little buckles to hold that in place. Like how that would do. The knee pads and elbow pads are separate plastic pieces, a little bit soft, but then they can kind of get out of the way. They're not going to fall off of there, though. Wraps on the hands. Each turtle has the same base body, but they are a little bit different as far as what they're outfitted with here. Something like Leonardo's got this strap that's supposed to go around and hold the swords, except it actually, there's a break in it here, but that's just more for the playability, I think. No, it doesn't really move there, so I guess they could have gone over that. Whatever, there's a ding. There's a ding for you. These sheaths are really rudimentary, but they work fine. Little bandana flying here. Slightly softer piece. That does not rotate, though, so it's just going to be where it's going to be. That facial detail, though, they're just so clean. Slightly ragged bandana. I never really liked that, but it blends in fine here. And the paint hits are really clean too. I'm really into that. And they have peg holes on the bottoms of the feet. So we'll set him off to the side a little bit. Let's pull Donatello in here too, because they're all a little bit different. He's got these little loot packs. Look at that. He's going to have another strap carrying too because of where he carries the bow on the back. There's slight malleability to some of it, but yeah, they would break. Smaller stuff is going to be a little more fragile. These do feel super sturdy in hand, though. I want to say that. The joints are smooth and they feel sturdy. These big veiny legs. I've just kind of kitted them all out slightly different just to display some of that. And, you know, I've been having fun with them. These are great. Shh, don't spoil the surprise. Here's Raph. Don't they look great, though? Don't they look great? Got a couple of kunai. They don't come out of here. He's got storage for the sai, of course, and this is a problem with a lot of these figures. Depending on where you put the legs, it's going to interfere, you know what I mean? You don't want to hurt that. The sai is a little soft, but it's a little more brittle than some. More kunai there. He's definitely got this ninja aesthetic going. A big old spiky plate here on the back. Nobody's belt goes over the shell. Where does it go? Turtle culo. And Michelangelo. I put him on the board here. These are like powered. Look at that. How cool. And then he's got the tunes here. I don't know why. And a lot of iterations. They got him with rattle cans. Man, you don't be a dirtbag tagging stuff up. What's up with that? License plate on the back. A little bit of a chain. You can hook those chucks over. Great detail on the shell again. You know, and it's just a lot of reuse with the way that these are, but I mean they definitely look unique with the rest of the accoutrement. These faces, though, look how nice these are. Anyway, stoked on the aesthetic, and I think proportionally, too. These are really nice. Checking out the articulation, how about we take some time with Dexterous Dawn here? We went over that aesthetic, but I just can't get enough. You know you want to keep staring at these, right? Look at that. Anyway, I want to say overall, these are, for being on the smaller scale, they feel super durable, and they're just really sturdy, but also really smooth. All of the joints right out of the package are just really, really silky smooth. So you got this head here. It's socketed up on a ball, little lollipop style. Sadly, they don't come with any other heads. I wish they came with a bunch of heads, you know. But because of that, and it's got good clearance, you don't really notice those gaps, I don't think, too much. But you get decent range. You can look down. You can look back. That bandana is not articulated, so watch out for that. Don't shear that thing off of there. Side and side. You get really good tilt and swivel and all of that. I think that's a nice solution there, and it gets really solid range. Shoulders are going to be mushroomed in on this nice hinge. They'll come a little above a 90 even. And they will rotate in there. You just watch your clearance on the shell. This, you know, the back part sticks out a little bit more. But they can make their way around. No bicep swivel or anything, but they do that thing, a single jointed elbow, but it hinges. So that makes up for that a little bit. It used to bug me more to not have that. It didn't seem natural, but it's like, man, swivel your own elbow. Your bicep doesn't twist out that far. So it's actually fine. Double jointed would be superior, but you get a 90. Double jointed would be superior. You got that pad. It interferes a little because it's a thing in the way, but it's really not bad at all. Down here at the wrist, it's pegged on there, and it's like the head where it's got a bunch of clearance on the ball so that you can get a little more out of it than you might normally. The issue I have with these wrists, though, is, let's see if we can get that off. You try to carefully, often the peg comes with the hand, and I got to like bite that thing and yank it out of there. And then when you're trying to stuff it back into place, I mean, them being a smaller scale, I worry about breaking these over time, especially as the weather is getting colder. Poor toys. I wish we got some extra wrist pegs. They're not that big a pain to port back in. You just kind of want to firmly hold non-movable parts, because I could see it breaking other small joints, like if you held it here or something weird. You know what I mean? You maybe got to be a little more careful with your tiny friends. Didn't mention the little fingernails, too. What is happening? That's awesome. It's awesome. Anyway, we'll get that up out of the way and check out something else that's awesome here. That is this torso setup. This upper piece and the shell on the back is one piece here, and so that'll move around. You get some pretty decent side to side. There's a lot of moving parts there, so you get a little bit of crunch forward too, and some back. But then this bottom piece is also socketed in, and that's a pretty ideal setup. I think you probably get the best crunch and twist at the waist on these than any other turtle. If you could clear all his goodies, you could spin that all the way around too. Little funny. Here, check this out. Do you one better. You can pull this apart without too much effort. It's not like he's going to fall apart. This isn't Nacelle Toys, but you can see what's going on here. You know what I mean? This is just a separate piece. I think that works out great for this setup. It pops back on there pretty easily. Coming down here. You got that little T-joint that these legs are socketed onto. The upper portion is separate, allowing these thighs to rotate on there, which is great. The bulk, again, and all the crap on them means you're going to have varying degrees of difficulty getting their legs to come straight up. This guy's got sacks right in the spot, but you can twist them out to the side a little, kind of make something work, because otherwise these are built to come up to sort of a 90 before everything runs into everything else. You get double jointed knees, though. That is cool. This thing has double the straps, though, so it's doubly in the way. Not cool. Still pretty decent. Proportionally, these sections are somewhat similar. The lower section of the leg might be a little long. Who knows, man? I don't I'm speaking by human proportions. These are like turtle monsters. Anyway, you get this foot here, comes back pretty well, forward a little bit, and it has good rocker on it. Nothing else at the calf or anything like that. And that being double jointed, it does not twist there either. But these are actually pretty nicely articulated, especially at this scale. There's usually limitations, but there are much bigger figures that other companies make that have much worse articulation. So I would give these guys a solid rating. I mean, a B+ or something. I don't know. I'm just pulling that out of a hat. You can get them into some nice poses. We get some low crunches and crouches, and we're swinging stuff. And you saw how he could go all the way straight up and be twisting that bow over his head. I'm not mad about the articulation here at all. And again, it feels really smooth right out of the package. Nothing is stuck or stiff. You know what's weird? They smell like a petroleum product. They smell a little like motor oil. I don't know what they're doing in those factories. You smell toxic. Checking out the accessories, each turtle, of course, comes with their signature weapons, including Leonardo's katanas. They are nicely detailed, the paint is clean, and they are, you know what, painted metallic here. And it's like it's got some like black spray over it too to make it look a little more real, dirty, what have you. Yellow and blue. I don't think there's like little washes and oversprays and stuff on everything. It's really cool. It's like a little black overspray on this stuff. Donnie's bow staff. A little purple in the middle. Quit trying to... I know there's a lot to look at over there. Yeah, look at my bandaged paws. Eee. Raph and his little bitty sai. These are great. These are great. These are cast in a slightly brittle plastic, though, so be careful. Be careful. You might own some sais from other companies. You know what to expect. Mikey's Chucks here. This is not a real chain, but it is softer. It is softer, so there's that. Really good detail on those, too. They've all got their corresponding little colors. This one is slightly more open, but you can close that up like that. It's not going to stay because it's not a bendy, but... And then they all come with the weapons with effects pieces attached. Look at this translucent blue. Looks pretty sweet. But does the sword there mimic to wherever you want to look at that? You know, and you can hook these up the same way, and it looks like they're doing stuff. Ninja stuff. Get out of the way. Don twisting the bow staff. You saw that earlier. That's great. I love that. And I love that they can bring their hands close enough together to manipulate those in fun and interesting ways. Raph has a couple of little speed things on the side. Maybe he's rushing at you with them. You know? Maybe he threw one. Pair of those. And Mikey, he's got the spinning chucks. He can spin the chucks. This is just a solid piece. Again, I would be very, very... Ooh, looks like that'll just pop out of there. How nice. Again, a smaller scale. Be careful. Don't get too drunk around them. Real quick, Donnie has one extra piece. This came on him, but it's removable, so I removed it and then forgot about it. It's this sweet little medic bag with a wrench. Perhaps he still does machines or, you know, maybe construction. Look at that, though. You get that same metallic paint over the wrench. That's great. This thing, too. Nicely sculpted, detailed. A little bit of that overspray or whatever they've done to that. A couple extra colors. And this just goes, well, just hooks over this guy. Yeah. Chilling off his back there a little bit. Between that and the softness of that, I think we can kind of get that into his hand. Yeah. How fun. A lot of moving parts. They stand really well, actually, too, because the feet I guess, are slightly larger, but sometimes it can be harder with smaller scale figures. Not these. They each come with a slightly different slice of pizza. Decently detailed there. They don't look too appetizing. They look, they're getting a little green. But they do have all those nice colors on them and stuff. And we got like Raph, his is all stretching out here. You could probably skewer it with something. Maybe he's just taking a nice bite. But they don't have different heads. But they gotta have pizza. They each come with a turtle communicator. It is permanently in the open position, but a lot of nice detail on that. They're all identical with what's on the screen and so on. They're tracking on something there. Little buttons, though, sculpted and painted so clean. I'll say again, the paint is so clean. Extra sculpt on the back there, too. They each come with 4 sets of hands, but they are all the same hands. So we'll just show them off like this. You know, a couple of closed fists. We're going to be here forever if I got to keep doing that. They all have the same beautiful level of detail, though, including the fingernails, you know. You get a couple of graspers, a couple of slightly more open graspers, and then these splayed hands for, you know, ninja moves. Look at that, though. They've painted in a little detail on the knuckles there. That's so cool. And the digits are all, they're a little bit soft. So you're going to be able to wrestle the things into there pretty easily. But that, of course, allows you to get different types of grips on different types of items. Look at him holding a wrench there. We hold the communicator. We can hold the side like this if you wanted to thrust. Each turtle comes with a sick motor board here. This signature little skateboard with the signature colored wheels. But it's got a motor on the thing. And you got these nice rivets here, like presumably where we're attaching the motor and the trucks here. It's got a peg on it, but it's up at the front. That's a really weird choice, I think. Or at least I don't understand it. I've put them on it in different ways, and it's fine. It's fine, but shouldn't it just be like back here or something, casual? I used to skate. I guess it wasn't motorized. And it would be cool if they had some more unique details, some decals or something on the bottoms here, but they're all the same, plain, just different colored wheels. As an aside, I love that these come with so many friggin' accessories, but making these videos, it stresses me out because I feel like half the video is in this segment. It's why some of these get so long. My Mezco Deluxe Wolverine, man. No, that's why nobody watched that video. It's fine, don't watch that. I hated that figure.
He's fine.
I can't believe I spent that much money on it. Coming up on the end of this segment, they each come with 2 different kinds of bases. Super basic this turtle tampoed on it. That's really nice. Basic little black stand. Again, that's a weird placement for that peg, right? Because then they're never standing. It's usually going to be, it's whatever. It's fine. And then they each come with one of these. And these are all the same, but they interlock. It's almost the shape of a ninja star too, over a manhole cover. And then you could bunch them all up on that sucker. It's just really nicely detailed too. How freaking cool. That's probably how they'll live, honestly, when I've had my fun there. I'll just post them all up super sweet on this one base. Just 4 dudes sharing a base. No big deal. Drop them accessories like boom. Looking for this? Checking out the height. The Joy Toy Ninja Turtles are right about 4 inches tall in a 1/18 or 4-inch scale. That sort of puts them at the top of the... You know what I mean? It's a little too tall, I think, if the turtles were going to be about a foot shorter than average. Which they usually are. Maybe these guys are supposed to be huge. They're not from any other source of media. This is their own concoction. They look fantastic. Let them cook. Who cares? They're this tall. Let's see how they fit in. And now it's time for comparison time. Kicking it off with some classic comic inspiration, it is the Man Without Fear and the Girl Without Peer. These are, of course, the Marvel Universe line, Hasbro's 4-inch Johns. How they do, they run a little over their rated scale, and I think that works to everyone's benefit here. They look good. Next, we'll throw in the vaguely turtle-like Hulkbuster and Beta Ray Bill. You got that swinging horse meat. For some reason, you can find a video review of him on my channel. With a couple other bruisers, we got Thanos and the Gladiator Hulk. He might be my favorite figure from the line. So good. Look at this mean, green, well-painted and detailed and accessorized machine. A couple of limp efforts from Mattel during that same period. You know, the Marvel Universe stuff was huge, and these guys are like, we want some money, but they can't even make a Batman figure that stands. No, look, it's the cool new Nightfall Batman. Yeah! Anyway, look at this Hawkman, though. Come on. What a beast. I do enjoy modern 4-inch Jazzwares stuff, though. We got Banana Hands and Banana Man. Now, I'm not going to do a ton of other turtles, of course, because they're all in the wrong scale. But if we're talking turtles, we gotta talk about NECA. These guys do the premier Ninja Turtle. I mean, they got like every iteration practically on lock. They look just spot on at this point, you know what I mean? But even so, they keep pushing out this essentially same cartoon body again and again and again and again. And you know, it's got it doesn't have all the articulation this one does. That's what it is. That's how it is. And plus these are just a little bit stiffer and whatever. Anyway, I mean, these are fantastic, but the smoothness of these ones in hand and the articulation on them, especially for being so small, it's fantastic. I mean, this guy only has the same single jointed elbows. He does have the bicep cut, but he doesn't have a thigh cut, and there's not much going on at the waist that you can take good advantage of. You know, they've got the little bit of you guys know. You guys get it. This guy does not have the thing going on up there, and that used to irk me. I mean, these guys are he's got an extra point compared to this guy. These are fine. Rounded out with the comic offerings. These are the newest ones, of course, the Mirage Turtles, and these are pretty premier. These have all the nice articulation. The shoulder pops out of socket all the time. That's great. But they also look fantastic. They all share that same high level of detail, and they're all very, very quality turtles. But I want to make sure we're not selling these guys, short, as it were, because they are pretty friggin' nice. Swinging towards the smaller scale, though, we've got the Samurai Leo and a vintage Playmates Raph. Still, though, they are too big. There just aren't other turtles in this scale. There's a Mezco 5 points, and then the smallest turtles I have. Look at these guys. We're trapped! Whoop! These are so cool. Let's not forget these guys. So tiny. Bobby Hill taking those little envelopes from church for his little stuff. And love these. Okay, wrapping it up with a couple of 4-inch friends here. We got the Endoskeleton and my boy Tanalier right here. So what's it all come to at the end, huh? Aesthetically, these are such nice looking turtles. They're just great looking figures, man. And especially everything at this scale, I think it's extra impressive. These are very nearly on par with 6-inch stuff. I gotta be real here, because you could just, pound for pound, you can pack more detail and more articulation into a larger canvas, gives you more room. But that also kind of spotlights how some of these companies are just BSing you, you know what I mean? It's just a black plastic figure. They just came out of the mold like that, and they're like, here you go. But there's some love that went into these, you know? Maybe some petroleum byproduct getting them off the thing. The look of them is fantastic, and the articulation is really, really solid, especially for this scale. Again, too many qualifiers, man. Bigger figures have worse articulation. It's great articulation, and all the joints are really smooth out of the package. Mileage may vary. Maybe it won't. They come with a ton of accessories, which does help offset the sort of high price tag, but it's perfectly in line with the other Joy Toy stuff. And they're sort of known for this, just a high level of detail and quality they pack into a small package. I'm a very big fan of it. In a half shell, I highly recommend these. These are so freaking cool. I know not everybody is down with this kind of scale, and so where are you going to fit them? They're definitely way too small to fit in with your 6-inch stuff. They would look ridiculous. But I think they fit in okay in a 4-inch world. They do. I was a little concerned they were a little big at first, but these are really, really nice. Really nice figures. I've been having fun with these all week, and I'm glad to be back with more turtles. It's what the people want. It's what my people would want. And apparently I can't stop buying them. You know, it gets to a point, there's another turtle offering. You're like, well, okay. And you're looking at them and you're like, maybe. For these, it was like, well, I don't have any in this scale. And I am fairly partial to it, having like most of the Marvel Universe line and, a bunch of gripes, complaints here. I wish that they were cheaper. I wish that they had double jointed elbows. But the biggest thing is this wrist system here. I do not like the way these come apart. You almost try to encourage it to come off of the wrist. You almost feel like bending it, but I don't want to break those. It's kind of a toss-up. See, that came apart, right? That's nice. But that was putting Leonardo's hand on earlier. It was really difficult to get on there. I mean, I might have to put some motor oil on there just to get it to go back together. They don't all seem like that, actually. Donnie's just popped on like nothing. So it's here and there. I wish that system was better. I'm afraid on a long enough timeline, I'm going to snap one of these little wrist pegs. But nothing lasts forever, man. Let's get it while we're here. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the sewer. Thanks, guys. I'll stop now.